In the 250 division, finishing in third, riding for Rockstar Energy, Husqvarna Racing, RJ Hampshire. Finishing in second, riding for Monster Energy, Star Racing Yamaha, Shane McElrath. And your winner, riding for Geico Honda, Chase Sexton. In the 450s, riding for Rockstar Energy, Husqvarna Racing, Jason Anderson. Finishing in second, riding for Factory Honda HRC, Ken Roczen. And your winner, riding for Monster Energy Kawasaki, Eli Tomac. Congrats, guys. RJ, had a chance to talk to you yesterday a little bit, and you said that the opening round was a little disappointing for you, and you needed to bounce back this weekend. You felt that you could. Third overall podium tonight. Is this the kind of bounce back that you needed, or did you need more than this to be happy?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, there was still a bunch of struggling going on throughout the day. I'm trying to learn as much as I can with this new team, new bike. I feel like each weekend we're going to start getting better and better, do what we can during the week. My fitness and everything, my strength is next level right now. So just got to gel with my bike and be comfortable. And I think once that happens, the results will come with it.
Shane, congrats. Triple Crown format, obviously you got to be up front in all three of them. That first one was a tough one for you. You're pretty far back. Just how tough was it to get through the pack even in that one? You end up getting into that top three, but just how tough was it in the early laps, knowing that you had to make moves, but knowing that the guys you're going up against are out front and, kind of checking out alone?
Yeah, it was a bummer. I feel like second place doesn't show everything that we had to go through tonight, and that's part of the Triple Crown. I was prepared for it. I just didn't really execute the first two starts like I needed to. So I'm all right with my riding all night. I felt like I was going good, just didn't put myself in a good position. So I'm excited to move forward, and we'll be there next weekend.
Chase, congratulations. Told us before the season how you were happy a year ago to get the championship, but you really didn't like the way it happened, only getting that one win. And you said it was very important this year for you to dominate or at least stack up more wins. How important was it to get that win tonight early in the season and just get on that roll knowing that you got 8 or 9 of these things, and I know you want to win about half of them?
Yeah, for sure. Last year was nice to obviously win, but not the way I wanted it to happen. And this year, Shane winning that first race kind of just checked out. I'm like, this can't happen again this year. I gotta stop it. And it was really important tonight to get a good result and to be up here on the top step. So got 3 good starts. First race was a little chaotic, but really made the best of it and came back to second. And then the second race, I'm like, I got to go out there and win this thing. So that turned the line around, and third main was good. Just rode behind Shane the whole race, and lappers are pretty chaotic. So was really happy with my bike tonight. The whoops is really good, and I feel like that was my strong point all day. But I'm really excited to have the red plate. Obviously, we're going to be sharing it the next race, so looking forward to next weekend.
Jason, congrats. That final race of the 450s was awesome for everybody. You guys battling back and forth. And you made the move about the halfway point, got a little bit of a lead. Eli starts coming. Were you aware that it was him? Did you know how far the distance was? Because everyone spread out, but then all of a sudden everyone tightened up really quickly, and that's when the battle started. Were you pretty aware with who it was and where he was?
Yeah. So whenever you cross the finish line, there's like the board right there, so you can kind of see it. It's kind of annoying that it's right there because you see it with the time and everything. But once I got out front, I knew it was time to just start trying to flow. But I haven't led races in a long time, so it was for me. I was kind of tied up there and riding a little timid. But all in all, I was excited. I'm having a good time out there racing, and kind of bummed that I had a little bit of a crash at the end, but it feels so good to be just in the battle with these guys, because the past couple weekends I haven't really done that, and honestly I haven't done that all year. So it was nice to be up there and be towards the end of the race and knowing you still have a shot at that win. So it was a good breath of fresh air for me.
That camera you took out, expensive. So they might be sending you a bill for that one. It's pretty pricey.
I'll send them a bill for all the fines they've got me over the years. So I think we're about even.
Kenny, congrats. First main event was lights out. Second one, though, kind of had a rough start, went back and forth a little bit, and then kind of lost your rhythm and it seemed like you lost that steam forward. What was going on there about mid-race there where you kind of lost that roll?
Yeah, just had my struggles in general all day. I feel like wasn't my favorite type of track, honestly. You know, it took me a little bit to get used to. It looked super tacky, but it was actually very slippery. And then, but then the first main was really good. I made a move early and kind of, I wouldn't say I checked out, but it was good to get the first one with a low number with number one. So, well, just 1 point. So, I think the second one is actually the most important one, and we wanted to go out there and get that one good. And that was really not our main event, but all in all, I feel like how many crashes there were all day, and big crashes as well. I'm really happy that how we executed. Even in the last main event, we fought hard and went back and forth with Eli a couple times, and just rode a little bit better in traffic and having people in front of me and actually making some passes. So we salvaged a second place overall, which I am satisfied with this weekend.
Eli, congrats. The media and even the TV crew, we're always looking at different angles and different kind of trends in the series. And with you, there's been a history of when the red plate comes, had some mistakes the following weeks. And then even here in Arlington, it's been a tough stadium for you. How important was it for you to come here to this place, get this win, and again, build off that red plate and be able to extend it when in the past, there's been hardships with that?
Yeah, I mean, you basically said it there. Like, it's just really nice to get through this one. With that being said, like this year, I feel just in a better place, right? Like have a really good base that way. As before, I felt like I was just kind of just almost a little bit nervous, in that situation, and made some goofy mistakes there. So overall in the night, I mean, these Triple Crowns are really tough. Like to go out there, do all three of those events and be the guy, and then. After the first one, it's just like, man, fifth place, and you see Ken win it. It's tough to go back out there and fight, but you got two left, so thankfully we were able to get those ones in 2 and 3.
Dark side. Check. Dark side Moto X Pod show. Eli, this Triple Crown format, the first one, you got kind of stuck behind some guys for a while. And your mentality, it seemed like your mentality changed for the third one. Like you were not going to be denied going to the front. Was that anything? Did you go into the first one kind of just trying to relax a little bit and see what happened, and more aggressive for the third one, or did it just seem that way?
I rode a lot better in 2 and 3. The last 4 or 5 laps of the first moto, I was really going nowhere. I was kind of stuck there in 5th. So I was just riding better, felt better, and that was the result of that.
Jason, you've been quietly consistent all year, just lurking right there. I mean, you're not far out, and tonight, same thing. And you had a chance there to win the things, and the whoop seemed to be a struggle. Was it just the way the track was breaking down, or what was going on?
I struggled in the whoops all day. I took out a medic today during the whoops. So, man, I was squirrely as heck in those things, and took out a medic, took out a camera. So those things were eating me up all day.
Steve Giberson with Vital MX. RJ, it seemed like you bumped up the aggression level quite a bit tonight. Can you talk about that?
I mean, I only think there was really one aggressive move. Chase was fast in the whoops. I mean, clearly, I wanted to get that first win, and I think I had a little bit of an OU on him, so we pretty even now.
And for the 450 guys, I'm curious what you're thinking. Cooper had that big crash with the Dragon back and then up to the triple. Is that a good combo to have kind of back to back?
I personally think it's just the dirt. Obviously, you can see the whoops breaking down and the Dragon back as well. But I already saw during press day and during track walk that they'll have like five whoops on the Dragon back, and then the 5th one is the lowest one out of all of them, and you go hit all 4 of them, and then all of a sudden your front wheel goes over the last one. All you do is hit it with the back wheel, and it ate up Adam, and then I didn't see Cooper's crash, but it ate him up too. And I've seen it happen multiple times, but I don't really know what the thought process is behind there, because you want the last one to be obviously the tallest one. That's the whole point of it. So, and then also they're breaking down because it is soft, so they're getting squirrely a little bit.
I also think that they're just so small that you could go so fast through them, and you can get ahead of yourself. And obviously, we're trying to go as fast as we can, and just that split little bounce off the last one to get over the top one, it can obviously it can eat you up. And then with the ruts and everything too, when your front end drops into one of those, it's soft. So it just sucks.
Little bit unusual, I think, too, to have I don't know, was it 5 whoops or something like that? I mean, I only know them 3 or 4. But there were quite a few of them, and the last one was the smallest one, which I think that's not always the best option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with these guys. I don't understand why they build the last one lower than the first 4. I mean, it seems like they've done it multiple times. It kind of, you sit there and scratch your head. You want to hit the last one, but they make that thing low, and it's not good. You see the crashes.
Chris from Cooksey Media. So Chase, RJ just said that you were even. Do you agree?
I mean, yeah, we did. We came in together outdoors at Millville, and I knew he wasn't happy about it. And that corner after the finish line really left the door open to try and hit the next section. But if you don't cover that inside, you're going to have what happened to me. Obviously, I wasn't happy about it. I feel like I came through the pack pretty well and made a clean pass. But then again, it's racing. So I came back and got second and put myself where I needed to be.
And then in the third race, it looked like you kind of knew you had the overall and kind of laid back. If these events, and anyone else can chime in too, if they had a point, 3 points for a win, 2 and 1, because you're racing 3 full main events almost, do you think that would help and make it more exciting?
I mean, I guess it could help, but again, you got to be consistent. And I feel like if you do your work in the first 2 mains, like Ken said, I think the second main's most important to put yourself as the main guy. So I think if you do your work in the first 2, the third one comes easier. So that's kind of where I put myself, and was just trying to stay smart with all the lappers.
Anyone else appreciate bonus points on that?
I think the system is so damn confusing as it is. I think adding a point, it'd be we're all homeschooled, so we're probably not that good at math.
I am.
I mean, in general, if you really think about, same with 20 plus 1 main events and the Triple Crown being 12 plus 1s. I mean, we're doing a lot more riding as well than we did before we had all the 20-minute races. And so, yeah, a lot of racing. And it's, I don't know, however you do it, I feel like it can play in your favor, and it can also go the other way around. So,
Joey Barnes with Auto Week. For you 450 guys, talking about the dragging back into the triple, with that setup being like that, are you concerned about maybe the unprotected pavement, because that's where Cooper ended up landing? Do you wish they would do something a little bit better about that?
I think you would have to do it around the whole track, because there's obviously concrete all around. It's just a bad deal, and unfortunately sometimes they happen.
And then I guess just a follow-up to that, when you've got a scenario where Adam and both Cooper end up biting it tonight, both top 5 guys in the championship, I mean, how does that change maybe your outlook moving forward? Because those guys end up getting knocked out, and y'all have got kind of a clear path to duke it out with each other.
I think it's just that's a part of the game. Our sport is so gnarly, and staying healthy through the whole season is what's key, and what gets you in that spot to be a championship guy, be a top 3 guy in points. And as you saw me last year, I got hurt at the beginning of the season, so I wasn't able to pull it off. But it's part of it, and I think that's where there's so many variables in our sport that makes it insanely crazy. So staying safe, riding good, getting good starts, I mean, the list goes on. And it sucks that they got hurt, but that is part of the game that you kind of gotta play correctly.
So Ken, I saw you in the timed qualifying session. You were one of the first guys to start jumping, and typically you're a skimmer. Is that a particular skill you're working on these days?
For me, it was really just, I skimmed it in practice, but on my slow laps, I just jumped through them just to practice.
Jared Jordan, KickingTheTires.net. Ken, for you, obviously going into that final race, you and Eli both had a win. You lined up right beside him. Was that by choice, or did you seem to be scouting it out there? And also after the race, you rode up to him in the turn there and talked to him. What was your conversation like?
No, nothing done on purpose. It was just all the ruts were so messed up, and I just try to pick my battle and pick the best one that I thought, because there was literally none left where you could be like, oh, this one's pretty decent. They were all pretty jacked up. So I just went there because that's where I think I started there all 3 mains, and in the first one I snuck around the inside, and that did me pretty decent. So that was the thought process there. And then afterwards I just congratulated him because I thought it was a good battle, and we always ride clean and nothing but respect.
I was going to ask you, Eli, sorry, 2 wins tonight, and then win last weekend. Got to have big momentum going forward. How's this? You keep the plate. What are your thoughts?
Just a nice place to be in. That's really it. It's yeah. If you look at the past, I've struggled in this point of the series, so it's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, Jason Roczen from RacerX. For both Kenny and Eli, yeah, you've had plenty of seasons where you've gone fast and then it comes undone for one reason or another. Even if you don't win the races, if you get a second or third at races this year, are you still happy to say, well, I'm staying in the fight this year, where maybe it hasn't worked out other years? So is there a bit of it where you're still happy even if you take a second or a third for either one of you guys?
Just depends who's in front of you. Okay. but yeah, for sure. Second or third's a lot better than 10th.
Yep. Yeah, Sam, I think you just pick your battles. I struggled today with the track a little bit, so that's why I said after the last one, and we fought and salvaged a second, so that's only really 3-point different in the championship. So everything is in the green spot, as in we're all good to go, and we keep fighting from here because things could have turned around real bad too, and another third crappy main event, and I could have been off the podium and then lose a lot more points. So I think it's just about working a little bit more on the consistency from weekend to weekend, and just feel comfortable. But the fight continues, and it's a great spot for me to be in too, because I haven't been in this position in a long time in the last few years. So we just keep it rolling from here.
Can you guys explain this last moto? The battle was pretty good, and Zacho was in there as well. Are you able to pick your spots and figure out how to make passes, or is it all just coming in instinct? I guess I'll start with you, Eli, because you had to pass all 3 of them. How do you do that?
The finish line turn was like a good spot to throw it in on a guy. Because when you're the guy in front, you're almost kind of stuck in like no man's land. Like you really don't know what to do. If you go too far inside, then the guy might just rail you, or vice versa. So that way I was in a good position there. That was the easiest spot I thought to run it in, because the whoops, we were all just follow the leader down the rut. So yeah, that was like the turn I thought you could throw it in on guys.
You had some lines on the other side past the big triple, I think, right?
Yeah, I think I was good from the Dragon's back to the triple, and then I hit the triple on the outside a couple of times, and I feel like overall, same with going through the whoops, I feel like I was pretty good there, but I struggled with the turn after the finish line pretty big time, and then Eli came by and I came back, and then the next lap I do a mistake there and I can't get the triple right there and had to double my way through, and he just came back by. It's like what Eli said, when you're behind somebody, it's the easiest spot to make a pass, because you can cut the other guy off, and then worst case you both can't jump the rhythm lane that you want to. But if there's somebody behind you that's going the same speed or even a little bit faster, if I go to the same route to try and do my rhythm, the other guy can just go take the line away. So difficult situation there.
And then for Jason, you had Kenny right behind you, and you're trying to get Osborne for the lead. So talk about managing all that.
Yeah, it's pretty early on in the race, whenever you're behind, Zach, and I felt like I was faster than him, but at the same time, you don't want to make like a crazy move that's kind of like maybe a little bit too ballsy at the beginning. So I stayed close to him. I tried to make a couple moves, but he was riding pretty good that last one. It's not like he was, no slouch. So luckily I was able to get up next to him, and yeah, he was a nice guy and didn't try and come in on me. So yeah, it was tough, but it is kind of crazy, because I feel like all of us have a different spot on the track that we preferred to pass on. So yeah, it's good.
This is for any of y'all, and it may sound like a rookie question, but last week walking on the track, it was kind of spongy. This week it was hard. How physically challenging is it for you guys? Is it different with the different surfaces, different compound of dirt? Does that affect y'all physically on the track? Because I come from four wheels on the track with asphalt versus concrete. So that's why I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest variable for us. You set up chassis different with soft dirt and hard packed dirt. Use different tires, so obviously, it changes a lot. As far as fitness, I think you can ride way more aggressively on a tackier track. So it brings the intensity up a little bit. So fitness wise, I think it also makes a difference in hard packed. It's I think sometimes the easier you ride it, the faster you go. So I think it's a little bit lazier style of riding on a hard packed track. Personally, that's what I think.
Ben Bridges, Eli, congratulations. You got your 31st win, and you are now our consecutive starts leader with 40. You got your 4th Triple Crown win. I have a feeling you're starting to like these Triple Crown races.
On paper, they look good, but I still don't like them. I don't like the 3 motos. It's just chaos. I don't like it. 3 of those first turns, the first straightaways, I might be, or maybe sound like a sissy, but I do not like them. And on paper they're fine, but I don't like them.
I think everyone can agree with that, though. I think the Triple Crowns, they're cool for the fans, but I think they're a little bit too much for us riders. Because you think back in the day, RC was doing 120 lap main in a night, and we're doing 3 16 lap main events. I think, did we do 17 laps one time?
First one, I think.
First one, yeah. So it's that's so much racing, so much chances for guys getting hurt, and you saw a guy get hurt tonight, and that's a main guy that's out of the championship. So I think it's a little bit too much risk. Although, yeah, it's entertaining for the fans, but you want to see all of us go through the whole season, But at the same time, I don't know. That's my opinion.
And good to see you back on the podium as well. And for our 250 guys, my home state race is next week. We got 2 red plates. Looking forward to it. Thank y'all.
Last question I have for Chase and Shane. You guys are going to be moving up to the 450 class soon. Are you at the point now where obviously you take care of business when you're done racing? Do you start looking at the 450 class guys, getting some mental reps against guys you'll be up against next year?
For me, I watch all the 450 guys, their practices, and I make sure I stay and watch their main event because you can learn a lot, and also going to be racing them next year. So just try and learn from them, and I look at their lap times in practice and kind of try and go off of what they're doing and just seeing what they're doing on the track. And I think it helps me, and to go out there and just watch them ride. And I think I learn a lot from it.
Yeah, same for me. I always watch the 450 races. It's something that I watch just as much as I watch the 250 races. I'm learning about myself, and always wanting to be better. Always want to take notes from the 450 guys because that's our benchmark in a sense in the 250 class. So we always want more. We always want to keep learning, and that's the nature of this sport, is to keep progressing. And the 450 guys, it's good to gauge off them.
Thank you, guys.